Hi, I have a short story for you today. I thought about it just the other day, and I realized this is one that a lot of young people aren't going to believe because it happened so long ago that the events of the story are going to sound like ridiculous. It's sort of like talking about having a buggy, a horse and buggy instead of a car. Not quite that bad, but getting close. When I was in graduate school, I had my little wife Nancy, and we had a little baby named Priscilla. She's about a year old, and Margie had just been born, and we're living in an apartment, a married graduate student apartment that we lived in at the University of Delaware. And we're sitting there, probably getting ready to have dinner, late afternoon. Knock at the door. Who could that be? Go to the door and open the door, and there's a man there. Strange man, never saw him before. Got a big suitcase. He says, "Pardon me, sir. May I come in? I would like to show you a set of encyclopedias." And I began to not close the door in his face, but to get ready to close the door because the last thing I needed was an encyclopedia. And I said, "Thank you very much." You know, I trying to be polite, I guess, but thank you very much. But and he said, "But this is free." Nancy heard it. Uh-oh. Nancy heard that we have a free encyclopedia. And I said, "What do you mean free? I don't think it's free. What do you mean free?" "Oh, no, sir. This is a free set of encyclopedia. Beautiful. Let me just tell. I'll show it to you. Yeah, let him in. Let him in." So I open the door. The guy comes in. We sit down on the couch. He opens his big book, not a book bag, a big little suitcase. And inside he's got a bunch of encyclopedias, and he's got the demonstration materials, big book to show us. The photographs in there are beautiful. The print font, I didn't know what a font was at that time myself, but the print font was very nice. Nice heavy uh, covering on the book, a hardcover. It was one I'd never heard of, like American Encyclopedia or something like that. But I kept saying, "But how can it be free?" He said, "It's absolutely free, sir. There's 30 volumes, 25 volumes, whatever it is." And finally, even Nancy was curious, and she said, "Well, that's wonderful, but but why are you doing this?" He says, "Well, actually, there's only one thing." And as soon as he started to say that, I said, "I knew it, I knew it. What's the catch?" He said, "The catch, sir, is that we ask you to display our encyclopedia when you have guests, and they can see it, and and then you can tell them, well, this is a nice encyclopedia. I suggest you think about getting one." And I said, "Well, oh, that's it? That's the whole thing?" He says, "Well, yes. At the end of each year, we'd like you to purchase," and I think he said it was $12 or $13. It's a long time ago. The year, and that'll go on for a number of years. Like they'll give you the events of the previous year. And I'm thinking, well, $12 or whatever it was once a year, we can handle that, I guess, for a free encyclopedia. And he said, "Of course, we'd like you to display the encyclopedia properly, so we're going to sell you. We'd like you to pay for a nice little wooden, very nicely made wooden display bookcase." I said, "How much?" He said, $19. I said, "Oh, well, $19 and 12 a year. Okay, we're going to get it. We got the set of encyclopedias. They shipped us. I had to give them a check or whatever. I forget what kind of money. It might have been wampum in those days. But anyhow, I gave them $19 for the bookcase, and I signed a contract that I would purchase the $12 year to date end of year. It's not encyclopedia; it's events of that year. And he left, and I gave Nancy a big hug, and she gave me a big hug. And we were just so thrilled that our little babies were going to have a free encyclopedia when they got out of college or something like that 20 years from now. And the thing arrived in the mail. I had to put it together with a couple of screws. It was cheaply made. It was we put it in the house. I think we had two visitors that year, and both of them noticed it, and that was it. Now, my father didn't like the idea that we were living in this little apartment that was cold in the winter, because he would visit us, with my mother, and hot in the summer. He said, "I don't want you living in this little apartment. We're going to get you a house." So he paid all of the fees and the licenses and the taxes and so forth and the down payment on a beautiful house, mile and a half from the college in the middle of Brookside Park, with about 300 houses, all the same. Very nice house, really, really nice house. and the mortgage was $103 a month, and he would send me a check from the factory as though I still worked there, which I didn't, and which is illegal. But that's beside the point. We're well beyond the statute of limitations on that. He sent me a check for $103 every month, and that was my mortgage. And we're living there about 6 or 8 months, and we're very happy. Very nice neighbors, very friendly. And now we have a dog because we have a big yard, and we have Margie's been born, and now Bobby's on the way. And I came home from a hard day's work at the lab, and Nancy was making dinner, and so we're chatting before having our dinner. And there was a knock at the door, and I said, "Well, who can that be?" And Nancy said, "Oh, I forgot. There was a man here earlier. He wanted to. Were we interested in getting an encyclopedia?" And I said, "What? We have an encyclopedia. Didn't you chase him away?" He said, "Well, I told him that I couldn't let him in, but that he had to talk to you, darling." I said, "Yeah, but we're going to have supper in 10 minutes. I'm hungry. It was a long day." Well, she said, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have chased him away, but anyhow. So I go to the door, and I open the door literally like a crack, like this, Yes? He said, "Oh, sir, you're home. Good. Your wife said that I had to talk to you. I'm offering you a free," and I started to push the door closed. Because I was hungry. I was less, you don't know me when I'm really hungry. I was less polite to this guy. And he actually put his hand against the door. "Please, sir, just allow me to come in." And I said, "We have an encyclopedia. We like it very much. Why would we want another?" He says, "Our encyclopedia is a beautiful one, and it's absolutely free." I said, "That's it. There's no free. There's no, I heard this one before, buddy." And well, and Nancy's tugging at my arm saying, "Just let him in. It'll take 10 minutes and talk to him." So I finally relented, let the door. He comes in. He's got a big suitcase. "Thank you so much, sir. You don't know how this is a beautiful." And he noticed that we have our little on display little thing, and he sort of sneered at it a little bit. He said, "Let me show you what we have." And he opens up the book. He has books and demonstration things and so forth. This tells you, like, here's the atomic chart. Bob would know more about that than I did. I was a biologist, not a chemist or a physicist. But look at how wonderful we display it and how we explain each of the elements. And here's another thing we do with languages of the world, and we have all the we have like ABC. Well, in Russia they don't have that. They have left, right, number, and each alphabet for various 20 languages. And what I was going to do with that, I don't know. But anyhow, everything was impressive. Here's pictures of airplanes, and the kids will enjoy it, and what to do with your pet. And there was so much. It was, and he kept saying, and I kept saying, "But it's not really free, right?" And he said, "No, no, 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 no. It's free. It's free. I told you it's free." I said, and then he'd go on. And after a couple of minutes, I'd say, but it's not really free. I mean, nothing is really free." "Oh, no, sir, this is absolutely free." On and on for maybe a half an hour. And now I'm hungry, and I'm getting grumpy, and Nancy's sitting there very quietly. And he looked over at me and said, "Well, now, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, it's a beautiful, yes, it's beautiful. And the fact that it's free." He said, "Well, let me just, it's not actually free. I mean, nothing is free." And I said, "What? It's not free? Get up! Get out!" I was sort of doing my impersonation of a show I'd never seen before that Jackie Gleason used to do. But that came on TV years later. And Jackie, I think, took this lesson from me. Get out of my house." I shoved him in his suitcase and slammed the door and said, "Let's go in and see if there's anything left of the dinner. It's probably all overcooked now." But that's an absolute true story. In a 1-year period, we got one free set of encyclopedias, which we never used. I mean, once in a while I would throw it at Nancy or something like that. And another one that we almost could have had a second free set, except for my vile temper. End of story.